Coming to you live from the Black Goat 39 studios, this is the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. Now here's your host, the Guru of Sports. Thank you. Much too kind. Thank you. Thank you, folks. Will you please take your seats, clear the aisles. Hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to episode 55 of the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. I am your host, the Guru of Sports. All right, now, I want to tell you guys something. I usually don't do this, but today is Sunday, March 14th. That means that I'm doing a Sunday show, which means that I'm doing this because I'm getting up a little bit early. And the only reason I'm getting up early is because I lost an hour of sleep. And I hope that you guys can bear with me and we can talk sports. And basically, we're going to talk all about the NCAA tournament this morning. I got some good insights and thoughts about what's going on. But I just want to say, for last week, if you were joining us, we want to really appreciate, and I want to really thank Mr. Dave May Jr. He's a great guy, great guest on the podcast. I cannot thank him enough, and like I said, we only have like a couple people to come through here. But Dave May Jr., Danny Rivera, and next week's guest is going to be a regular part of the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. I'm going to be leaning on them a little bit. And when I met Dave May a while back, he was, like I said, he was a former Major League Baseball player. And he's a really, really nice guy, really respectful. And I respect him, and I thank him for, like I said, I had mentioned to him that I needed him to come back on in a couple weeks, and he said no problem. All of our guests are really good about coming in. And like I said, I don't have that many, but I want to thank him and thank Dave May, because another thing I found out about him, that which makes him a better guy, is that he's a Raider fan, and I appreciate that. Now, we got some similarities. He's a baseball player. I love baseball. I tried to play baseball, but I couldn't do it. But anyway, we went to the same high school, and we like the same NFL football team. Why do you think I wouldn't? Dave May is always welcome on this program, and I appreciate you, Dave. Thank you, sir. And the story you told about Hank Aaron, your dad and Hank Aaron and Dusty Baker was remarkable. It was unbelievable. I usually don't listen to the podcast. I just usually listen to it once over to make sure that everything got straight. And, I hate to call back a guest and say, hey, we got to do this take again or whatever. But, I really appreciate it was a great conversation. And like I said, I had to go back and listen to the podcast once again just to listen to the story that Dave told about Hank Aaron and Dusty Baker and his dad. And it was truly remarkable and a really, really good story. And I thank him for sharing that. And all right, like I said, I really, really appreciate everybody. I really appreciate my co-host, Mr. Derek B., and, the guys that work behind the scenes to try to get this stuff together. I really appreciate them. All right, now, there's one thing I want to talk about this morning, and I really hate this. I really hate talking about negative things and stupid things, but seems like they come together with certain people. The NBA suspended Myers Leonard for some very inappropriate and disturbing words that he blotted out or said out loud. And I'm not, to tell you the truth, okay, this is how I see it. I don't know what I know what he says something anti-Semitic. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm not going to hear it. I'm not going to even listen to it. Because the thing about it is that if it's something that hurts someone, you shouldn't say it in the first place. Let's get that perfectly clear. If it's something that you say that's going to say something to hurt someone else, you shouldn't say it in the first place. That's my take on it. From cut and dry. That's my take on it. Now, like I said, I'm not going to repeat what he said. I don't want to know. I know what he kind of said, but I don't want to really get into it because the thing about it is that it's so disrespectful. And like I said, we have a society where all of us have to be together, including during this pandemic time crap. Okay? We have to be together. We should be able to live together. We should be able to learn from each other. We should be able to say things that's not going to be a detriment to anyone else. Now, my thing is this. I will say anything on this podcast that I want to say, but I will not say anything on this podcast that's going to downgrade anyone else or that's going to hurt anyone else. Like I said, everybody has their own thoughts and opinions about things. We don't have to go into all this because that, where it's leading. Basically you cannot do anything to disrespect the anyone else. And this is a politically correct society. And some things that were okay in the beginning or years ago is not okay right now. Just like the Me Too movement. You know what? There's certain things that you can do. There's certain things that you can't do. And just point it cut and dry. It just can't be done. But the thing about it is that you got to remember one thing. If you're going to say something that's going to hurt someone, you shouldn't say it in the beginning. You should take it out of your mind and put it somewhere else or dump it, That's all it is. It's just basically the devil trying to make you say something stupid that's going to allow you to get in more trouble. But like I'm telling you right now, I would not say anything on here that's going to hurt anybody. I'm not going to say anything disrespectful. I'm not going to do anything that's going to get myself in a bind with, Spreaker or with any other the people that carry this podcast. I don't want to do that. I want to keep everybody enlightened. I want to keep everybody laughing. I want to keep everybody, saying, well, dang, this guy, he's really stupid, or he's funny, stuff like that. That's what I do. Now, I do want to mention that I do laugh at everything, and believe me, I laugh. This is not about Myers Leonard. I laughed about something earlier this week, and it just took me by surprise and storm. And I'm going to tell you right now, we might be having this sound come in here a little bit later. And I just want to let you guys know, be forewarned, because when it goes, I'm going to start laughing, and that's it. I'm going to... Oh, jeez. I think it just started right now. Let me cue that back up and see what happened. What is that sound?
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. This comes off of something that last Thursday when I was doing something.
Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant.
Oh, God. There he did.
Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant.
All right. I can't. You got to stop this right now. I can't do this because of that Green Giant. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, what I'm trying to explain to you, I just got Goaty upset. I know Goaty. All right, Goaty. All right, Goaty is my sidekick. If you guys are new to this podcast, Goldie is my sidekick, and he helps me out with everything. And he's a little black goat, and which I mentioned in the beginning, Black Goat 39 Studios. That's where we're located, and we named the studio after Goldie because Goldie and I don't know what he does around here. He just sits around, just sits around here and does nothing. But the thing about it is that if you're new to the show, we have a black goat that sits in here with us, and he yells anytime he wants to. And I usually ask him questions, but most of the time he just doesn't have an answer for. He's supposed to be our musical director, our musical guide when Ray Guru, our musical genius who played the open for us, is not here. But Goldie, I don't know what he does most of the time. He just sits around. He's actually in the studio. He just sits there and watches me while I'm doing everything. I do all the heavy lifting, and he doesn't do a doggone thing. So I just want you guys to know that. And like I said, I laugh at everything. I'm trying to get back to the point that I was making. Last Thursday, I was doing something and driving somewhere, and I listen to the radio every morning, and I have a favorite show that I listen to, and they actually played the Green Giant ho ho ho, and I start laughing.
Ho ho ho.
Green Giant.
There it is again. Oh, God. It's like it knows when I'm getting ready to talk about it or something like that, and it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh, and like I said, I laugh at everything. I can laugh at anything that's like sophomoric or stupid or whatever, but this right here, it just makes me laugh.
Ho ho ho.
Oh my gosh, I'm about ready to lose it. I'm sorry. I know I got business to take care of, but this is funny. Every time I hear it, I just start laughing. I don't know why.
Ho ho ho.
Oh gosh. All right, let me get this thing back on track and try to get the work done that I'm supposed to do. All right, sit over there, Goldie, and stop messing with the Jolly Green Giant. All right, now we did talk about stupid Miles Leonard. He's been suspended by the Miami Heat and the NBA, so hopefully we won't have to hear from him anytime soon. All right, now the NCAA tournament has started. If you didn't realize it, the games have been played, and there's been a lot of teams that you might not even hear about, but they won, and they're basically going to be in the big dance. This is going to be. I'm really excited for the tournament this year because we missed it all last year, and now we get a chance to see teams that are really not big household names that are going to be playing in the tournament, which is kind of good because we've always relied on the big blue bloods to play, like Duke, UCLA, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky. But this year might be a year that you might not see some of these teams. And to tell you the truth, you might see some teams that you never even heard of. Now, like I said, Duke had a positive test a couple days ago, and they basically might be out. Now, don't quote me on this. They might be out of the ACC tournament, but they might get in as a replacement team because they're going to have COVID teams that are going to basically get in to the tournament. That's going to replace some teams. If you can follow me on this, Duke might be one of those teams, and you never know. Duke might be playing as a 16 seed. They're not really good. I mean, this has been one of the teams that's always been in the big dance for the last 24 years, 25 years or so, but they might not even make it this year. And to tell you the truth, it's going to be weird to see them. Kentucky was just terrible this year. his Calipari, can you believe this? John Calipari has never had a team that didn't win double digits. Didn't have double-digit wins. You know what I mean. Guru knows what he means. Anyway, Kentucky only has 9 wins. 9 wins, and I think they got about like 16 losses or so. Kentucky is not going to be there. What would you say if you thought Kentucky, Duke, UCLA, Kansas, and Indiana, all the blue bloods of college basketball, is not going to be in this tournament this year? You would have thought I was going crazy, wouldn't you? You would have thought I was actually nuts, or I was actually doing something crazy.
Ho,
Like,
ho, ho.
oh gosh, stop it! Y'all gotta stop it. I'm in the middle of a thought, and y'all ho 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 and me. Oh gosh. All right, let me get back on track again. All right, like I was saying, Duke might not be in. It might not. They might not be in. So I'm not sure about Duke. We know Kentucky is not going in. Kentucky is done. Kansas had a positive test. Virginia also had a positive test. Kept them out of the ACC tournament. Now they went out of the ACC tournament, and they were supposed to play Florida State. Florida State ended up losing to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech won the ACC. Now, do you think Virginia or, Georgia Tech beat Florida State? I think Virginia would have been there. Virginia had the best shot. I mean, they had a better team. Virginia might be done for this tournament. But like I said, UCLA, I'm just really disappointed in their program. I love UCLA. I actually, when I had a chance, I had to go to their campus, take a look around, walk around, and just enjoy. Actually, I got a chance to talk to the football coach and the basketball coach at the time. I think it was Jim Herrick was the basketball coach at UCLA, and he asked me, he said, do I have any eligibility left? And I said, I don't think so. I don't know. I was just joking around. We were just joking around. He was such a nice guy, really, really nice guy. And Bob Toledo, I think his name is. Bob Toledo was the coach for the UCLA team back in like 97, 98, if I can remember this right. Bob Toledo was a great guy. He actually, he told me, he said, if you wanted to play for, as a walk-on, you can. I have a lot of stories that I have with famous people. I can tell you. I should have another podcast called my favorite famous people that I ran into. But anyway, I did talk to him once, and he was really nice. These guys, I mean, like I said, UCLA had a really good football team back before I left California, and basketball team was always something else. Jim Herrick won the tournament back in '95. The whole thing. And I really love that team. Toby Bailey and, I can't remember some of the other guys. I know Ed O'Bannon. I got a chance to meet him. Ed O'Bannon and his brother was on that team. They were great. UCLA. I love UCLA. But there's a team that I do want to talk about now. I love even more. They're out of Washington, D.C. Georgetown Hoyas. Georgetown. I love Georgetown. That's, one of my favorite teams. Like I said, I love UCLA. I always watch UCLA. I always like Texas Tech. Texas Tech is another good one. Chris Beard is doing always do a great job down there. They'll be in the tournament. I'm not worried about them. But one team I was rooting for really heavily, and I tell you right now, I was rooting for them, and it came true. And I'm glad that it did for Patrick Ewing and the Georgetown Hoyas. I love Georgetown. Believe me, I went to the school about like maybe 5 years ago and just walked around the campus, and it is amazing. I loved it. I mean, hey, I went to a small college in Southern California. What is it called? Cal State. Geez, I can't remember. Monterey Park. It's in Monterey Park. If you guys remember, I can't remember. I went to that school. I can't even remember what school I went to. Guru forgets a lot of things too. But anyway, I went to that school for a little bit. I tried to get in there and try to play baseball, which didn't work out. But anyway, Georgetown is one of my favorite schools. Patrick Ewing is one of my favorite players and coaches right now. Patrick Ewing now has won a national championship, division championship as a coach and as a player. The first time in the Big East that it ever happened. And they took their 8th Big East championship, Big East title. They were tied with Connecticut for the most Big East tournament wins. And Villanova, I think, is like has 6. But this is the first time they've won the championship since 2007. And it came on a day that remarkably, you know what I mean, that on March 12th, 1972, was the day that the University of Georgetown University, hired John Thompson to be their coach. They took a risk on a high school basketball coach, and it paid off. And like I said, they won the 1985 championship. I think they won the championship. I know they lost to Villanova once. They beat a couple teams, and then, like I said, they won the title once under John Thompson. He was the first African American coach to win a title. But my thing is that Patrick Ewing has these guys rolling. The freshmen played outstanding basketball, and he won the tournament MVP. Can't think of his name right now, but like I said, you got to remember, Guru forgets the little names sometimes, and he should be having this stuff written down. But like I said, I know Patrick Ewing.
Ho, ho, ho.
Gosh, damn. Why, right in the middle of a thought, you guys ho me? I just can't understand you guys. But come on now, just stop playing. Anyway, they won that tournament championship. They go on to the NCAAs, and to tell you the truth, they might have knocked out Syracuse. Syracuse is another team that I really like, blue blood, and they might have knocked them right out of the tournament. And that would be something if, like I said, Georgetown and Syracuse, I used to love that rivalry in the Big East all the time, watching that. Would it be funny if Syracuse not get in because of Georgetown winning that their division or their conference? That would be something else. All right, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down some of these conferences and tell you who the winners are. And I want to tell you a couple teams that I'm looking out for. Actually, there's 4 teams that might have a chance to play spoiler in this whole tournament. Now, I got 4 teams that I'm going to mention a little later that are going to be spoilers. They might, and one of them is a powerhouse, actually, as coming out of a really small conference, and they look poised to win it all. Tell you the truth, they're on a mission. But anyway, let's go to the MEAC, the MAC. Ohio won the MAC conference, and they beat Buffalo. I'm not going to tell you any scores or anything, but I'll just tell you who won. Abilene Christian, they took the Southland tournament, and they look pretty good. I watched a little bit of that game. And see, that's the thing. I watch most of these little conference games. I mean, I know the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Big East, and, all those tournaments are really cool. But like I said, there's a couple conferences that's going to be settled today. But like I said, I've been all over them basically for about like 2 weeks now. I just haven't been able to talk about them because of all the stuff that's been going on with the podcast, and like I said, the guests that have been rolling through. Now, next week I do have another guest, and I'll talk about him a little bit later. And you think it's funny now that I'm laughing right now. I think I'm gonna laugh through the whole podcast when he comes on here.
Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, here we go again. All right. The WAC championship went to Grand Canyon Antelopes. This is their first ever NCAA bid. They're 17-6, and they look pretty good. I watched a little bit of that game. I just like I said, some of these teams it's hard to figure because most of them are just really not too much known about most of these schools. All right, now UC Santa Barbara won. They beat Irvine in the championship, and they're 22-4. They look like a force that can be reckoned with. They believe me. I watched a little bit of that conference championship, and they looked really smooth. Okay, Big Sky was won by Eastern Washington. Their first trip since 2015 to the tournament. Conference USA was won by North Texas. They look pretty good. The Eagles, North Texas Eagles, I think that's what they are. They look pretty good. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the Guru's never wrong. The Guru's always right. Anyway, Georgia Tech won the ACC. San Diego State, another team that I really like, that's really under the radar. They are the Mountain West champions. Now, the Pac-12 championship went down to Colorado and Oregon State. Now, Oregon State won that, but they had to beat the top two teams, Oregon and Colorado, to get there. So, big props to them. They won it. They won. Big 12 went to Texas. The American East went to a team called Hartford. Hartford won that American East. And they look pretty good. They look pretty good as well. Now, like I mentioned, there's four teams that are tournament bound. Not a lot of recognition, but to tell you the truth, they look good. Okay, Liberty Eagles out of Atlantic Sun. They look like they're going to be a spoiler. Give them a chance. They might end up winning one game in the tournament. It depends on where they seed. They might be a 16 seed. They might be maybe a 14 seed. You never know. All right. Now, the MEAC, M-E-A-C champion is Norfolk State. Now, I'm kind of upset with Norfolk State because they beat my Morgan State Bears. And yeah, I'm a Morgan State guy. I love Morgan State as well. I don't think Norfolk State is really, really sharp. Really sharp, but really sneaky. The Spartans are a pretty good team, and I think that they will be a spoiler if they play in like maybe they'll probably end up getting to like a 12 to 14 seed, maybe lower, maybe anywhere from to 12 to 14 seed, 16 seed. But I don't know. They might be a little bit better than 16 seed as well. Now, the Colonial Drexel Dragons. That's not too far from me, so I'm going to be rooting for a little bit of hometown, a little bit of the, local guys. I'm a root for Villanova. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a big hater of Villanova. I like Villanova. I think they're pretty good. But the thing about it is that I really think that they are going to be really good this weekend in the tournament. So the Drexel Owls, they're only 12-7, but they look pretty good. And they beat Delaware and they beat Elon to win the tournament, win their conference tournament. Now, the Big South champ is a team called Winthrop. The Winthrop Eagles are 23, listen to this, 23-1. 23-1. And they might be ended up as an 11, 12, or 13 seed. Now, if they get that 12 seed, I'm putting my money on Winthrop to win this. Believe me, the Winthrop Eagles are the biggest shock that's going to be in this tournament. They're going to shock this tournament, believe me. They are going to win a game at least in this tournament. I'm telling you, Winthrop Eagles, you got to put your money on them because I am very hyped over them. 23-1. And believe me, they are ready. They are ready. they say, hey, bring on Duke, bring on the big ones. Or Duke ain't playing, so bring on somebody big. I like to know where they match up at. But like I said, all these teams are going to be in here. We don't know what's going to expect. Now, like I said, it's around about like maybe 11 o'clock right now. And, I'm sitting up here talking to you guys, watching Meet the Press on silent. But, like I said, this is going to be a very interesting Sunday. Never know what's going to happen. Never know what's going to happen. But then again, the selection team is coming on.
Ho.
Green Giant.
Oh, my gosh. This is Green Giant. Ho, 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 Green Giant. Oh, my gosh. You got to stop. Leave me alone with that. Anyway, we don't know what's going to happen. Like I was saying before, it's at 6 o'clock p.m., we'll have the results of the brackets and who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. But I'm looking forward to this because I really think that there's going to be some very good matchups and some very good shocking matchups, and somebody's going to get upset. Believe me. I'm telling you like it is right now, somebody's going to get upset. Believe me, somebody's going to be like, oh, gosh, I never thought that they could win that game. But, yeah, they are going to win that game. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to take the Winthrop Eagles because I think that they can win at least one or two games in this tournament. Believe me, I'm putting my money down on them. I am. Also going to put my money down on San Diego State. I love San Diego State. I'm putting my money down on Georgetown, too. Georgetown can win a couple of games in this tournament. I think. Definitely think so. But anyway, I've talked a lot about the tournament. I really, like I said, I'm really stoked and really hyped up on the tournament. I think that they can win. Definitely. Some teams are going to be it's going to be amazing. And it's going to be a relief that to see the NCAA tournament back in March instead of not seeing it at all. This is the first time since 2019 that we had the tournament. I am so hyped and so pumped and so glad that we are going to have the tournament this year. And believe me, this is what I've been waiting for the longest time. Been waiting for, a good, solid weekend of NCAA basketball. Next weekend, we're going to be having tournament games on. We might be talking basically through the podcast, through the tournament games. I'll let you know what's happening, but it's going to be really, really exciting. And I'm really excited for this whole process of having the NCAA tournament back again. I am just so relieved and so stoked. Anyway, now, I talked a lot about NCAA tournament. Now, I do want to mention TAPS, and, I hate to do this, but, we lost, we lost a real legend last night. Mr. Marvin Hagler. Oh man, it's kind of hard. It just really hits me hard. These things really hit me hard. When I noticed that, gosh, Marvin Hagler. He was 66 years old, and he was a great fighter. I remember battles with Sugar Ray Leonard and the battles with Tommy Hearns. Hearns-Hagler was one of the best fights I ever seen in my life. Gotta respect him. We pay our tributes to him. Rest in peace to Mr. Marvin Hagler. And also, Irv Cross. Pause that for a second. All right, Irv Cross. Now, he passed away a few weeks ago. And I didn't get a chance to mention him because we had the interview, a couple of interviews, and we had something going on. I think it was last week we had something going on. But Irv Cross, played the taps again. Irv Cross was it wasn't great. He was a good football player. Played for the Eagles and I think the Redskins. Or Washington. I'm sorry, I'll never say that word again. But anyway, he was the first man in 1971 to be on television, the first black African American man to be on television, along with Jimmy the Greek, Brent Musburger, and Phyllis George. CBS had a thing called the NFL Today, which is still going on. And he was a pioneer. He was the first African American to be on there. And like I said, it was when I was younger. All right, pause taps for a second. When I was younger, I actually remember getting up early and they see the highlights and, sports scores and all that, football scores and all. Before there was ESPN, before there was the internet, there were Mr. Herb Cross, Phyllis George, Jimmy the Greek, and Brent Musburger. Used to watch them. They were like the number one sports football show for Sunday morning, football show. And like I said, Herb Cross was 81 years old. He was a legend. He was, there wasn't that many African American men that wanted to go into the field of journalism, sports journalism, television, stuff like that. I gotta say that he's a pioneer, because the thing about it is that if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have this podcast right now. I really appreciate him. Really appreciate him. And he was really a really inspirational figure. It's more or less like the Jackie Robinson of sports broadcasting. He broke through a lot of barriers and broke through and made it more possible for Brian Gumbel, for, all the other guys that, Greg Gumbel, I know is his brother, Stuart Scott. Remember him? Stuart Scott? Stuart Scott was a great television personality. Booyah! Like I said, I really, really appreciate everyone in the sports industry. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. It doesn't. Because the thing about it is that pioneers are basically all we have. And we have to recognize them whenever we can. Like I talked about Phyllis George a while back because we lost her, I think, about a year ago. And it was remarkable that she was the first female to be on national television with a bunch of guys. And it wasn't too many of them left. It wasn't too many of them. But it's been noted that, once you become a pioneer and you do certain things, it's really good. It's really good. I really tip my hat to Phyllis George and Herb Cross, Brent Musburger, Jimmy the Greek. And, when I was younger, I used to watch Howard Cosell all the time. And, the 50th anniversary of the Fight of the Century was on last Monday. And I got a chance to watch a lot of it. Watch the fight. I watched the interviews and stuff like that with Frazier and Muhammad Ali. Great stuff. Great stuff. But let me get ready to end this program and tell you guys that I really appreciate you. Appreciate you coming in. Appreciate you listening and, checking with me because...
Ho, ho, ho.
Green Giant.
There it goes again. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I love this. I love this. This is so funny.
It became personal with me. I knew that Jerry Krause
Who is
loved
this?
Van
Oh, my God.
And just because Krause liked him,
Michael Jordan is actually talking right
he's
now.
a great defensive player. Okay.
I don't know why, but Michael Jordan just cut into my podcast. Can you believe that? You know what? It's Cody's fault. Yeah, it's Cody's fault. All right. Anyway, I got to get rolling. I'm done with this podcast for the day. I know that the ho-ho-ho's been getting in here and Cody's been laughing and joking around. Yeah, I know, Cody. You're stupid. You are just so stupid. All right. What did one of your ears come off? Oh, my gosh. Cody broke one of his ears. Oh, God. This is a scene. I'm telling you, it's a real scene with him. There's always something. He's always getting into something stupid. Anyway, like I said, follow us on social media. YouTube, I'm at the Guru of Sports Show on YouTube. Facebook, I'm at Guru's Daily Shorts. I'm El Briscoe on Facebook. IG is the Guru OS39. And I have another one, which is for my little children, my doggies. They're at Guru's Kids DAE. DAE stands for Daisy, Alex, and Ellie, which I love them, but love all three of them, especially my little girl in heaven. God bless you, Daisy. God rest your soul. Gmail, I'm at Guru's Daily Shorts at gmail.com. Twitter, I'm at Goat39 on Twitter. And Goaty, he's at BlackGoat39 on Twitter. Follow us on all the social media outlets. I think we're up to about like 80 now. Miss Mary Mac, I'm still trying to find that list. I think I might have lost it. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm mentioning a couple people that I do follow and very, very good friends with. Miss Mary Mac, she has a really, really good podcast that I listen to. And believe me, she is probably one of the best people that can guide you through some really rough times. She's very good with her podcast and what she does. You got to check it out, Miss Mary Mac. Also, check out Mr. Damian Adams, The Real Deal with Damian Adams. His podcast is really good. He gets down to the meat and bones of everything. I might scrape the gristle off of it a little bit, but he gets down to the real nitty-gritty meat and bones. Anyway, like I said, appreciate you. My man Jeff Duarte, Cali Sports News. I know that you're going through some things, but I want you to know that I'm really here for you. God bless you and God bless your family, and I hope everything turns out well. Anytime you need me, let me know. Okay. Hip Hop Brothers, Danny Rivera, Jeff Shepard is coming on next week. I want to mention that before we're running out of time, but I want to let you know, comedian Jeff Shepard, I'll tell you about it. I'll send you something. We'll let you know. Happy Original Pioneer, Reggie Reg, King Charlie Prince, Positive K, and my main man, Cool Cow Star Child. I haven't talked to you. I know I'm busy, but I'll definitely get back with you. I'm definitely gonna get with you. Crew, Katie Guru, Board Op. He'll be back next week. Vinny V, Technical Advisor. We appreciate you. I need to talk to you, Vinny V. Ray Guru is our musical director. Mr. Derek Guru is our co-host of the co-host with the co-host. Dante Guru is the co-host of the co-host of the co-host. And like I said, we appreciate you. Ray Guru music is excellent. Now, I'm running out of time. I just want to say this has been a Black Goat. This is our motto. This has been a Black Goat production for Black Goat Entertainment. All rights reserved 2020. Copyright 2020. All rights reserved. We don't steal from nobody, and we always give big props to everyone. Shout outs. I want to shout out my man Jeff in Southland. I appreciate you. Shout out my girl Bella B from Calgary. Thank you, Bella. We appreciate you. There's a lot of other people I would shout out. My girl Lori, Alberta girl 34, I think. Appreciate you. Always say hello. Always good people. I really love good people. Appreciate it. I'm not going to have a song this week because I'm running out of time. But I just want to tell you guys, stay tuned for next week. I'm going to try to get Mr. Jeff Shepard in here. He's hilarious. He is the inventor and creator of Hip Hop BC, which I'm going to talk to him about, and I really appreciate it. But like I said, folks, I will see you soon. The Guru will see you real soon. Later.